Welcome back to the channel, guys. So in today's video, I got something a little special for y'all. Now, no, it's not my muscles. I know. Y'all want to sit here and watch me flex. But I got something better than me flexing. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a super in-depth guide to playing Gley. Or in Gley. So in this video, I'll be using the ultimate Gley. So this will be the ultimate guide for Gley, the ultimate Gley guide, if you will. That's probably going to be my the title of this video. We'll see. I mean, you'll already know by the time you watch this video, but anyways. So as we see, if you go ahead and check out the first Descendent content and you go ahead and look at YouTube, you'll see a lot of like max DPS builds, the best this, the best that. But I haven't really seen any like maximum in-depth guides to what makes Gley who she is. Like, why is she such a boss killer? Why is her kit so great for outputting so much damage? So anyways, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best into showing you every single thing that I know about Gley. Now, Gley, I'm using Ultimate Gley, and I already formatted her 2 times. She has the modulator catalyst thing on her, whatever. So I have increased mod space. I got you know what I'm saying? So I put some time into her and stuff like that to really maximize and understand her as a character. So I want to relay all the information that I have gathered by playing her, and I want to give it to you. So without wasting any more time, let's just get straight into this. All right, so for starters, what I want to go ahead and explain to you, or actually, yeah. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and explain her abilities first, right? So let's go ahead and look at her abilities and let's see. So we'll start out with the passive first. So her passive ability is called Thirst. Now, I'm gonna read it to you and I'm gonna explain. So Thirst is a skill description. Has you cannot have any shields or MP. So you don't benefit from using any MP mods. You don't benefit from any skill mod or shield mods. So don't waste your time with that. So in non-frenzy state, reduce incoming damage. So you have a passive damage reduction. Defeating enemies have a chance to draw off life spheres, which upon contacts grants power of life. Upon acquiring power of life, restores HP. So if you go ahead and look at the stats on the side, so the damage reduction just from not being in your frenzied state, which we'll talk about frenzied state, which is her first ability, you receive a 4% damage reduction. It's not a whole lot, but it's still something, right? And then your life spheres. So what happens is your life spheres, when you kill an enemy, has a 30% chance to spawn. And they only give you 4% of your max HP. So that's not a lot of HP. It's only 4% of your max HP. So there's that. Now the duration. The duration is how long the spheres are on the floor. So once they spawn, you can see right here, the base duration is 8 seconds. Mine right now is 11.9 seconds. That's how long they'll be there on the floor before they disappear. And then power of life obtained. Now power of life is you'll see at the bottom of Gley when you play her, there's a red bar or there's a bar under there, and there's 10 spots in that bar. Each one of those is 1 power of life. So when you pick up 1 orb, it gives you 1 power of life, 1 stack, right? I like to call them blood stacks. So that's her passive, clear, cut, and dry. Now her first ability is one of her bread and butter abilities. Everything that she has works in tandem together. So we're just gonna break down everything here. So your first ability is called Frenzy. In frenzied state, increase your firearm attack and penetration, but reduces HP recovery. The cooldown is 1 second, so you can just keep going in and out of this whenever you feel like it. So you don't need cooldown reduction for this. It costs at base 10% of your max HP to use this ability. Now, as you can see, I'm at 8.5% instead of 10, so you can reduce that a little bit. That's up to you. But when you're in the frenzy state, you get a 15% attack increase, firearm attack increase, and a 15% explosive attack increase. Your penetration is at 51. Now, the penetration is like, those big guys with the ice shields and, the people with the shields and stuff like that. You can shoot through those, pretty much. Like, you can shoot the shield as long as you're frenzied, and you can do damage. You can damage their health bar. So you get a little bit of penetration in your frenzied state, so those guys aren't too big an issue for you anymore. Um, Now, your healing receives from all sources, from other players healing you, from your spheres, your little blood stacks that you can spawn with your passive, or even the standard health balls that drop when you kill enemies on chance. Those, it's all 50% reduced when you're frenzied, when you're in that frenzy state. And then you also receive 10% more damage. So although you get 15% more damage and some penetration, you take 10% more damage and 50% less healing. So it's a give and take, right? You can dish out a lot of damage, but your survivability gets reduced. Now that's in frenzied state. So that's what her first ability is. Just go into that DPS phase. Now your second ability is called Life Siphon. Well, let's read this and I'll explain it. So, Life Siphon deals damage to targets within range and recovers HP. HP recovery amount increases based on the number of enemies hit. In Frenzied state, deals increased damage proportionally to HP. In non-frenzied state, gain Vigor, and Vigor stacks proportionally to the number of enemies hit. So, what does that mean? So, we're going to talk about being in the frenzied state. So, in your DPS phase. So the base cooldown of this ability is 20 seconds. Um, and then it costs you, if you see Power of Life, it's those blood orbs that you pick up. It costs 3 of those to cast this ability. As you see for me, mine's at 2.5. You can reduce that. So the base is 3. It takes 3 stacks, 3 of those little orbs to cast this one ability. Now, when you're frenzied, just like Frenzy is a DPS phase, it just increases your DPS, right? So if you look, your damage increase at base is 327.5%. Or at base, like non-frenzied. But if you go into frenzy mode and you use this, it jumps up to 467% of your skill power for the frenzy mode. And then also, if you want more damage, the lower your health by 10% increments gives you 10% more damage. So you can get a bonus of up to 90% more damage. Well, your skill power increases. It's not 90% more damage. Your skill power gets increased by 90% if you lose 90% of your health, right? So every 10% HP gives you 10% more skill power. So there's a difference from having 10% more skill power and 10% more damage, right? So your skill power is increased by 10% per 10% of HP lost. So what does that mean? In the frenzied state, if you use your second ability, your Life Siphon, you will get more damage. If your health is lower, you will deal more damage. Now, outside of the frenzy state, if you use this, not in your DPS form, your frenzy form, you'll do less damage, but you get more HP per enemy hit. So if you see right here, the health recovery amount says max HP 5% per enemy hit. So if you hit a bunch of enemies, each one of them is going to give you 5% of your max HP for each person that you hit. So obviously, the more that you hit, the more health you'll get. If you just hit one guy, you're only going to get 5% of your max HP, which is absolutely nothing. But now remember, this ability in and of itself is meant, in my personal opinion, it's meant to heal you, right? For sustainability, survivability. I would recommend that you don't use this ability in the frenzied state just because you're just getting a little bit of damage. Like, unless you build her absolutely skill power, there's no point in doing that. So if you're going to use this ability and you're dying, quickly just get out of your frenzy state. Use this ability on that group of enemies that's surrounding you, and you'll get the bonus of 2% damage reduction per enemy hit up to 10 enemies. So you can get up to 20% damage reduction if you use this ability outside of your frenzy state. And as you see, the base duration of that damage reduction is 11 seconds. Mine is at up to 16.3% or 16.3 seconds. So just all in all, to wrap up the second ability, it's your small AoE ability that does damage, but also heals you, gives you damage reduction. That's essentially it. Now let's go on to the third ability. Your third ability is called Increased Sensory. This is also one of her top tier abilities. Increased Sensory, when in frenzied state, applies maximum lethality, during which bullets are not consumed. So you have infinite ammo for that duration. And then when you're in non-frenzied state, it applies maximize recovery, during which life spheres generation is increased. So when you use this, and you will use this a lot in both forms, in frenzied and non-frenzied, right? So the cooldown of this ability is 40 seconds. So it is a long cooldown. I will say that. Um, but your HP, it costs you 5% of your max HP to use this, which, if you notice the trend, everything costs you your health. But maximum lethality, which is inside of your frenzied state, you have infinite ammo for the duration of the ability. Now, the base duration is 5 seconds. Mine is at 7.4, just with some, duration mods on. Now, that's a bonus, but the downside of it is you move 50% slower. All of it. You walk, sprint, aim, ADS, it's all 50% slower. So when you pop this, you're going to be standing there. You're pretty much going to be standing there. And you're gonna move 50% slower, but you get infinite ammo. But you gotta remember, you might think, okay, yeah, whatever, I'm just moving 50% slower, that's okay. But you gotta remember, because you're in the frenzy state, you're still taking that additional 10% more damage too. So it's it's a risky place sometimes, especially if you're fighting really high level bosses who do a lot of damage, because then you could get clapped. So just be careful when you do that. Use it at the right times. Pay attention when you want to use it. Um, But if you use this ability outside of your frenzy state, you get maximize recovery. Now, maximize recovery increases your movement speed by 30%. So you're running, sprinting, and all that, ADS moving, all of that gets increased by 30%. But it also, which is the one thing that I use it a lot for, is the life sphere generations, those little blood orbs. You get a 60% chance to get it when you kill an enemy instead of the base 30. So if you want to get your little stacks up because you want to use an ability or you want to use your ultimate or something like that, you pop this, kill that wave of enemies, that group of enemies, and you have that 60% chance to get those life orbs, which is nice. And then your health recovery amount, max HP is only 8% of your max HP. Like I said, that's kind of trash. Like the healing from your orbs suck. They're actually garbage. I mean, you can pick it up still. I mean, HP is HP at the end of the day, but I mean, they still suck. I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, so your base duration is 10 seconds of that. Mine is 14.9 because of skill duration mods. So to sum this ability up, if you have a solid window to where you can squeeze out maximum amount of damage, you want to go frenzied, and then you want to pop your third ability, which will give you maximum lethality. Have that infinite ammo for that duration. Get them straight headshots with that 15% bonus damage from the frenzied state. You know what I mean? Dish out your damage for sure. But let's say you're not fighting a boss, or you're not shooting at the boss, or you're not in the DPS window, and you're kind of just like maneuvering around or whatever like that. Enemies spawned and stuff like that. Stay out of your frenzied state. Pop this ability. You'll move around a little bit faster. Go ahead and crank out these headshots. Kill a bunch of the ads. Pick up all your spheres and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And get some health and all that on the way. If you're dying, use this ability. Get to safety with the movement speed. Get yourself a couple kills. Pick up your health orbs. Heal up. So these both of these have their places, and I would recommend that you utilize both of them. Now, let's talk about the fourth ability. Now, the fourth ability it's a little bit, it's something that you won't be able to use all the time. And I'll explain why. But when you are able to use it, you need to make sure that you're in the window to maximize it. Now, remember, just like everything else, there's two portions to it, right? Because you have frenzied form and you have non-frenzied. So instead of reading that, I'm just going to explain to you, right? Your fourth ability, which is your, I call it ultimate ability, you pull out a pistol. It's called Massacre, right? So you pull out a sidearm pistol and you go ahead and handle with that. When you're frenzied, you're going to do more damage. That's just what her frenzy does. It's her frenzied form is all about pure damage. So you're gonna do more damage with the pistol. But if you're not frenzied, each hit will stun an enemy, right? So that's really about it. So that's her ultimate. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. No, no. Her ultimate actually is a little bit more complex than that, and I want to show you how to optimize this ability, right? Because I think no, not I think, I know that optimizing this ability is going to net you the most amount of damage you can possibly get with any weapon in this game. So, when you use this ability, it's going to adopt the stats of whatever weapon you are currently holding. So, if I'm holding a hand cannon, what's going to happen is, let's say I hold a hand cannon and then I pull out my fourth ability. Now, my fourth ability is going to have the same damage, same fire rate, same crit. It's going to, if I have a fire attack or a poison, it's going to have that on there too. It's literally just copying whatever you're holding. The only difference is if you're frenzied, you get a little bit extra damage. If you're not frenzied, you get stunned. That's it. That's the only difference to it. Now, just like if you pull out an assault rifle and then if you're holding an assault rifle, you pull out your fourth ability, your pistol's gonna have the fire rate of that assault rifle. It's gonna have the damage of that assault rifle, and all the status effects, whatever. Just whatever's on your assault rifle, it's gonna have it. It's just like I said, frenzied more damage, and non-frenzied, it's gonna have a stun effect. I brain farted for a second. Okay, so now the cost of this ability to even use it. Now it costs two things, and I'm gonna tell you. So as you see right here, it says on the first half where it says basic info. If you go to the third one, it says minimum use condition. 3 stacks. You need 3 of those power of life orbs, the little blood orbs. You need 3 of those to activate it. If you don't have 3, you can't use it. Just like for your second ability, you need to have 3 of those to use it. Now, the only 2 abilities out of her 4 is her Life Siphon and her Massacre. So your second and fourth ability are the only 2 abilities that require those blood stacks. The other 2 don't. They just take straight health. While all of your abilities will take health regardless, but those 2 in particular also need those blood stacks. And those 2 are, they're okay. I would say they're okay. It's not necessary to use the fourth ability, but like I said, if you want to maximize and optimize a DPS window, you want to be pulling out this pistol. Like you want to. If you want to actually maximize your damage to the peak. Now, anyways, I'm going to show you guys that in just a second. But so now the other part of the fourth ability is not only does it take the 3 minimum, let's say you have a full bar, you have all 10, and you use this ability. Well, yes, you need 3 to activate it, but it's also going to consume the rest of the 7. So it's gonna clear your whole bar. Doesn't matter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't matter. It's taking all of it. Now, the only thing is, depending on how many of those stacks you have out of 10, that's how many bullets you will get. So let's say I only have 7 and I use my fourth ability. It's going to take all 7 and turn those 7 into 7 bullets. Let's say I have 10. It's going to take all 10 of those and turn that into 10 bullets. So you might be thinking, okay, so if I only get 10 bullets, I might as well just use a sniper rifle then, right? If it's going to adopt the stats of my highest hitting weapon, or not the highest hitting weapon, but if it's going to adopt the stats of my weapons, I might as well just use a sniper. I get what you're saying. but that is a bad idea. And this is why. Look at um, the exclusive weapon, right? It says same as equipped weapon, so there you go. It's going to take the stats of that. But then frenzied underneath it, additional damage, skill power, multiplier. It's 68.9 by base. To be honest, that's pretty low. So as you see, I put on something to increase my skill power modifier or multiplier. So mine's at 98.5%, right? My build isn't completely fully optimized. As you see, she's level 27 right now. I just formed her for the second time. And I say former because of Warframe, but I didn't even pay attention to what the name is of this. I should probably, let's look. I used this, a catalyst. So you see, I added 2 more catalysts onto her. So right now she has 6. But if you get an ultimate character, they have a base starting of 4. So that's why I have 6, because they start out with 4 for every ultimate character or ultimate descendant. So anyways, so that that bonus damage that you're going to get from the 4th ability is based off of your skill power. It's not based off of anything else but skill power. Also, you can, if you see, every 10% of your every 10% of your health missing, you will get plus 10% skill power. Not damage, skill power, right? Now let's go ahead and look at my skill power, right? Let's go ahead and see this skill power right here. So right here, my skill power is 15,000. So I'm only going to get, every 10% missing, I'm only going to get 10% of 15,000. It's not really a lot, right? So that's why, personally, I do not recommend draining your health to 10% max HP just to try to squeeze out a little bit more damage. I don't think it's worth it. It's not enough. Like 10%. It'll go to 90%, which, maybe, but the risk factor of it, I don't think it's worth it, right? Because then you have to be in frenzied state. Then you have to be, which you're going to take more damage. You're already at 10% of your max HP. Just to try to squeeze out some damage, you pop maximum lethality, and you're trying to burn him down for that duration, but then he hits you once and you die. So then out of your 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever seconds of infinite ammo, you only get like 2 seconds of that because you get punched in the head and you die. So I don't recommend, unless you're freaking just crispy at the game, I don't recommend that you drain your HP too low. If you want, drain it to half, 50%. Or maybe even sometimes you don't even got to drain it. Let's say you're just fighting, you're getting punched on in the head and stuff, and you're already at like 30%. Well, when you cast these abilities, this one costs 15% of your max HP to even pull out. So let's say you do everything you need, you're in frenzy state, you pull this out, and you get maximum lethality. Now you're at 50% HP total, right? So you're gonna get plus 50% to your skill power, which then again, that'll be, I guess, useful. It'll be noticeable. That's what I'm trying to get at. So, anyways, that's enough about that. I'm pretty sure you get the gist of it. Now, instead of me just explaining it, what I want to do is I want to show you in the firing range what she's looking like. Now, my build right now is not fully optimized. I am trying to figure out the best way to build her. But anyways, so let's go ahead and show you. Now, I'll show you these weapons and stuff like that when I show you the gameplay. I'll show you like everything that I have on here when I show you the gameplay and stuff like that. But right now, what I want to go ahead and show you is the skills in action. So let's go ahead and summon up some people. Now, I'm not here to show you damage. I'm here to show you what the abilities do. So we're not focused on damage here. So anyways, now we're gonna run it back, but with visuals on top of the explanation. So remember, I'm not in frenzy state right now, and I pop my Q. I'm in frenzied state. Now you see it took some HP away from me, and the way you can tell is you'll see a red glow around your character. It's a little subtle, but your main is your hair. Your hair goes up and turns white, unless you have a skin where it's already white. But now, oh wait, I gotta turn this. Let me make them invincible because I want to show you the damage difference. So if you look at this, oh crap. Okay, so like you see right there, with no crit, it's 163,000. See? 163,000 headshot, no crit. Easy. See that? I mean, that's a juicy 511,000 crit, but let's go for the no crit, 163,000. Now let's go frenzied, which remember 15% increase. So remember 163,000, 179,000. Now, well that's 180. 180. Okay, so we got 180,000. Okay, can you stop critting, please? Anyways, so 163,000 to 180,000, right? So is it the biggest difference in the freaking universe? No, it's not. However, it's still more damage. You know what I mean? So let's look at this assault rifle. Let's say I get a headshot on her. 50,000 a hit with no crit. Now we're at 54,000, right? Now you see, there's not the craziest difference there. It's not the craziest difference in damage. It's only 15%. But it's still a little bit more damage, right? I think what makes her as good as she is literally just her fourth ability. I mean, her third ability. Now, we'll get to that when we get to that. But let me go ahead and show you her second ability. We're going to turn off invincibility real quick because, you know, I have to for a second. Now we're going to run up in here and use her second ability. Now remember, her second ability is the AoE Life Siphon. So you're going to get health per person hit and damage reduction per person hit. If you go into the frenzied state, you're just going to do more damage. So let's go ahead and redo this. Now we got 9 enemies here, right? Which, as we remember, we can do a maximum of 10, or 10 stacks, but we only going to get 9 here. So what we're going to do is pop our abilities and drain our health. And I'm going to show you what the health increase is looking like, right? Now remember, like I said, in frenzy state, it's just damage. Outside of frenzy state is where your damage reduction and, you know, better healing comes from. So if you look at our health, we're probably like 30-40% health. Yeah. So now let's go ahead and pop our second ability. Now you see we only got 8 of them instead of 9. And look how much health we got from that, right? And then we get our, like I said, trash healing from those spheres. But hey, now those red orbs are what's going to give you the red bar that's glowing at the bottom. Each one of those gives you 1 stack, maximum of 10. And you need those to use your second and fourth ability. So now that we got that out the way, that's pretty clear cut and dry. There isn't really much that I can say about that. Now what I'm, oh yeah, no, actually, oh no, here we go. We're at it now. Now your third ability. Remember, 2 different phases. So if we look, I don't know if you're going to be able to really tell the movement speed difference, but if you see, this is our movement speed right now. But if we pop the ability, we start running faster, right? We got a lot more movement speed. Now, you might not be able to tell here, but you can run just as fast as Bunny when she uses her movement speed thing. You can run just as fast as that water lady when she's skating on her water and stuff like that. Your movement speed is just the same as theirs. Visually, it doesn't look the same because they don't add the effects to it, but the movement speed is the same. And the reason why I know is because I've used it. And when you're running through a dungeon, you're just speed running it, right? So I use my third ability just to fly through the dungeon, and so do bunnies. And I'm literally side by side with the bunny every single time. And my friend plays the ice or the water lady. I don't remember her name, but and she moves pretty fast too, but it's the same speed. So you got increased movement speed with your third ability. Now let's go into our frenzied state here, and just pay attention to my ammo. Actually, I'm gonna show you two things. First off, remember movement speed gets decreased by 50%. Now, look at that. We're sprinting right now. This is walking. This is sprinting. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? So your movement speed is really freaking trash. Now, pay attention to my ammo now. I have 38 bullets, right? Let me pop this. Now for the duration. That's what makes her so good. It's because of that. I mean, she in tandem with her other abilities, but that's like her bread and butter right there, expressly for bossing. Oh yeah, because like let's say you go ahead and get a rocket launcher with ridiculous freaking rate of fire, pretty decent damage, and you pop this and you're just spamming. You know what I mean? Like your rocket has 5 bullets in there, but instead you're freaking shooting 15 bullets. For free at that too. You know what I mean? So that's what makes her really good, and that's really all that is. That's really all her third ability does. Increased movement speed outside of frenzied, plus some life sphere drop chance increase, and inside of frenzy state, infinite ammo. Now this next one, her fourth ability, is a little bit more complicated to. It's not really complicated, but there's a lot that goes into it, right? So let's go ahead and we're gonna keep these people as invincible. Now let's pop our ability, right? We're not. Ah, crap. I wanted to start out with the hand cannon. Okay, that's fine, whatever. We started out with the assault rifle in hand. Now remember, I said it adopts the stats of whatever weapon you're holding. So, I have my ultimate out, as you see, this pistol right here. And I'm not in my frenzied state. So it's going to go ahead and stun. But as you see, it's going to do the same damage. You'll see the same damage numbers that my assault rifle does. Same exact damage. Nothing different. Right? And as you see, I kind of like rapid fired it for a second because it adopted the stats of my assault rifle. Now, if we go ahead and pull out the revolver and pull out the ability, adopted the same fire rate, damage, everything that my revolver has. Now, I'll just show you the rocket launcher just in case, but I'm kind of beating a dead horse with this, right? So, there we go, right here. It's the same fire rate, same damage, all of that. Now, let me show you something. So if you look right here, your damage increase is going to go based off of your skill power if you're going to use this weapon, right? So as you see, I have my skill power modifier or multiplier up, plus you've seen I had like 15,000 skill power or whatever. So what I did was I put this on. And you see it's not even upgraded all the way, but this gives me plus 29.6% of skill power modifier, which is that multiplier thing that you see, where it says skill power times whatever percentage. That's what your skill power modifier is. Quick explanation of what that means is it just this percentage based off of whatever your skill power is. And your skill power will, like for me, my total skill power is 15,000. So I'm getting additional damage, 98%, 98.5% of my skill power. So that's the bonus damage that I'm getting per shot of my fourth ability. Now, obviously, you can add your skill power, stuff like that. Like I have non-attribute skill power. And the reason why I know she's non-attribute, for those who don't know, if you just look at go hover over a skill, and you can look over it where it says number 4, massacre, non-attribute, and dimension. So this ability will benefit off of non-attribute set bonuses and dimension bonuses. And not all the time your abilities will be the same. Your third ability and your first ability for Gley is non-attribute and singular. But the first and third ability don't do damage, so you don't put nothing into singular because you're just wasting potential if you do that. But because your second ability and your fourth ability actually have damage, you want to put non-attribute and dimension on it. So anyways, now let me go ahead and show you something. I'm going to show you 2 weapons here. Let me see. I need, this has 600, well, this has 666. I think this fire rate on this is up because I put a fire rate mod. Yeah, so my fire rate goes up because I have a fire rate mod on you. Here, this is what we'll do, right? Let's take, you only have 26 bullets. All right, so we're going to take the Tamer, which everybody says is the best weapon, the most OP weapon, blah, 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 whatever. So let's go ahead and take all of this off. We don't care about this right now, but what we're going to do is put on a fire rate mod here. Right here. There we go. That's all we're going to put on. So that way our fire rate goes up. So let's look at our fire rate here. 833. And then we have a 666. Not going to lie, I don't really like that number. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. All right, so let's look at the fire rate. That's our fire rate. Pretty juicy. So now let's go ahead and go into the frenzied state, right? And then it's going to give us our little bit bonus damage. Let's pop out our fourth ability. And then what I want to do now, because our fire rate is so high, the 10 bullets it's going to go by so quick. So you're frenzied. You got your fourth ability. Now pop your third ability and go to town. Now, this is the reason why I say the maximum damage you can put out is with her fourth ability, is because although, watch, let's see. Although, if you look at it, alright, so actually, let me show you the added damage you're getting from her fourth ability. So you have to pay attention because I only have 8 more shots. If you look, there are 3 damage numbers. One is poison because I have poison on my weapon. One is the base damage, which will be the middle number, which is the base damage of my weapon. And then the third number, which will be at the very bottom, is the bonus damage that I'm getting from my fourth ability. So I'm getting 15,137 extra damage per shot because of my fourth ability. Now, if I pop the maximum lethality and shoot every single one of these bullets, every single one of them shots gave me 15,000 extra damage. It doesn't matter where you hit them, doesn't matter. You don't get weak point damage bonus off of it. It doesn't matter. It's a flat damage increase. 15,000 extra damage. Now, let's say in that span, let me pull out the calculator real quick. Let's say in that span of time, we did 15,000 damage per shot. Let's say I hit 30 bullets, which, you know, you can hit way more than that, but that was 450,000 extra free damage. Free damage. 450,000. Oh wait, let me show you. Let me show you so you can see it, so you don't know I'm lying. So let's say 15,000 times 30 bullets, right? I don't know. Let's see if you can see that. Can you see that? Let's press the equal sign. See that? I free 450,000 damage. It's free. It's literally free. You know what I mean? Literally free. So you can squeeze out so much extra damage off of that. Now, if you want to increase that, if you want to build for that, right? Your goal is to output the most amount of damage at once. You want to increase your skill power multiplier, like I said with tactician, just because you want to squeeze the most amount of damage. But then you also want to make sure you have um, skill power boosts on. Now your main bread and butter is going to be from your reactors. So right now, as I'm recording this video for Gley, there's not a in the rotation. There's not a reactor that's going to give us the two attributes that we need. Plus, for me personally, I always use a hand cannon. That hand cannon that you see, I always use that. So I'm waiting for next week for that rotation to come around in hard mode, so that way I can go and farm that, so I can get the perfect reactor for her. Then once you get that perfect reactor, go and upgrade it, and it's going to give you a little bit bonus skill power, which that's going to help you out. Now, obviously, you can use these and stuff like that. Get yourself some slight modifiers and stuff like that, which I need to go farm these, but um, yeah, I haven't done that yet. But anyways, so that's her fourth ability. That's how you can dish out like absolute insane numbers. Now, even if I use this assault rifle here, which you'll see, let me show you. The damage is still going to be the same. See, 15,000 extra damage still. Now, you're probably asking, what's better then? Should I get a weapon with ridiculous high fire rate? With, super high fire rate? Or should I get a weapon with, a little bit lower fire rate and, see what the firearm attack is? The firearm attack difference. Um, you kind of need, because look, 15,000 isn't a lot of damage. It's not. So what I would say is build a weapon to where your weapon is good, right? This is my favorite weapon, the Eternal Willpower. So as you see, I got fire rate on here, firearm attack, crit damage, critical hit rate. I got more firearm attack, and I got rounds per magazine because I want more bullets. Now I'm gonna slap a few what are these called? I want to call it formas, but what is it called? Catalysts. I'm gonna slap like maybe like two, maybe like three catalysts on this thing, right? Right, to get it exactly where I want it to be, because this has raw damage of this weapon in particular. It's really great. All I gotta do is, like I said, slap the fire rate on there, which I got that. So I would personally say build a weapon to where the weapon itself has great DPS. And then isn't your fourth ability isn't used because your the ability power or the bonus damage you get from the fourth ability is great. It's just extra damage. You can build it to where it does more damage. So let's say I, mid max Gley, which I'm going to. I just, gotta go level her up, form her again, level her up, you know what I mean? But let's say I get everything upgraded and now I'm like at let's say instead of 15,000 I'm doing like 25, 30,000 per hit, right? Now that's 30,000 extra bullets within this time frame of, whatever. Let's say I'm at, what is it, 8 seconds, 9 seconds of infinite ammo, and I get about like, whatever, such and such amount. So it's just bonus damage on top of your already main focus, which is already your main DPS weapon. You're just going to stack free damage. So that's really, that's essentially it for Gley. She can be complex and complicated to manage. Understanding, the best times to go into your frenzy, outside of your frenzy, when you use a second ability, when to use your third, when to go frenzy plus your ult plus your third, you know what I mean, and understanding windows and time frames and stuff like that. She's a high risk, high reward player, and that's just what she is. She pushes out insane amount of damage. Your DPS just goes crazy, especially if you use her right, optimize correctly. Obviously, if you get to the end game and you got like 300 freaking catalysts on her and you got maxed everything, obviously you're gonna do a crap load of damage, right? I mean, that's just the simple fact of it. But I will say, although she is super, super amazing and she's actually my favorite character, her downside is she really, really lacks crowd control or ad clearing capabilities. Because all her abilities is essentially just for single target damage. Um, it does get a little bit tough sometimes if you're doing like harder stuff like that. Let's say you're doing one of those defense missions where it goes to like wave 21 or something like that. Um, Man, dude, like you start getting overwhelmed so quickly, and right now because of like the server issues where it's like starts to get a little bit unstable, you know what I mean, which makes it worse. But I think maybe if the servers weren't unstable, it'll probably be a little bit easier, but I don't know. But right now, she just lacks the AoE capabilities, so she's just really good for bossing. So, you know, if you want to do boss kills or if you want to run dungeons, you can also run that too, just because, you know, there's bosses in the dungeon. You can fry them down easy, farm it up, you know, get what you need. Uh, I just wouldn't recommend using her for everything, just because of her lack of AoE capabilities. But other than that, she's super good, super freaking amazing. I would definitely recommend getting her. She's a lot to learn at first, but once you get the hang of her, it's just, you know, it's just as easy as breathing. So, um, yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything for Gley. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, if I left anything out for Gley, drop it in the comments. Let me know what I left out, if I left anything out, and also maybe should I do a build video? Nah, I'll do a build video once I completely max her out. Actually, I'll show you a little quick one real quick just before I max her out because not everybody's, you know, has her maxed out. Now, like I said, I do have 2 catalysts inside of her, but you get these catalysts for free by progressing in the game. So it isn't like this is something I paid for. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I paid for Ultimate Gley, but um, you get some catalysts for free. You get the max capacity up for your module things. You get like I think what 2 of them for free, 2 or 3 for free just for completing progressing in the game. So you can pretty much do this now. So this is the build right now. Obviously, I'll be tweaking it depending on the items that I'm getting in the future. Which there are a few things that I want to get, test it out, see if it's worth using or not. So, anyways, oh, I don't use this. This is my weapon. These are my 2 bread and butters. I freaking absolutely love this hand cannon. It's so insane. Ah, it's so beautiful. But anyways, I need to go roll these, start rolling them and stuff like that, to get the best out of it. But I'll show you. Actually, let me just show you. I know I'm gonna end the video like 70 times over, but I want to show you what I have on my hand cannon, just in case you guys are like me and love just going for straight headshots all the time. One shotting is just so nice. Hitting 2, 3, 4, 500,000 damage a hit. It's so nice. So, anyways, weak point damage. So it's a hand cannon. You're going for headshots all day long. So then we have some more weak point damage, firearm critical hit damage, which is a little bonus. I could change that out. I might, depending on what mods I get. We got firearm attack. More raw damage is the better with the weak point damage. We got some critical hit damage with some critical hit rate. The base crit chance on this weapon is already pretty high, so that's why this actually is pretty good for me. I got fire rate on here because, the faster you can shoot, the more DPS you can get. Accuracy, this one is just because this ultimate hand cannon has that slot in there. And right now, I just don't, there's nothing really that I'm looking at that's like, oh wow, it's a must have. So I'm trying to figure out what to put there. So that was just there. Right here, firearm attack, critical hit damage. I'm gonna obviously level this up too. I have this one forward 1 time with the max capacity up, obviously, as you see. Otherwise, you wouldn't have all these mods without it. This assault rifle, Eternal Willpower. My favorite assault rifle, favorite weapon in the game, essentially second to the hand cannon. We got some fire rate maxed out. You know, why not? Shoot faster, more damage. We got some raw damage on here. More damage is more damage. Critical hit rate. The crit rate on this weapon is pretty low at base, so my crit chance isn't too high with this. So, I mean, but still increasing my crit chances a little bit. It's still cool. I have crit damage on here. I also have this one for some more firearm attack. So we got 2 firearm attacks here, giving us that juicy damage. As you can see, this one has higher firearm attack, but it makes your recoil more trash. So, you know, if you have recoil control, then put it on. And then rounds per magazine. I need to level this up one more time, but as you see, don't have any space. 79 out of 79. So we're gonna use a catalyst on this. We're gonna go farm some more of these. As you see, I only have 1 catalyzation blueprint. So we got some farming to do. So I can go ahead and juice this one up. But I really like this weapon. It's probably my favorite weapon in the game. So, like I said, outside of this hand cannon. That's what I'm running. These right now are just placeholders until I go start farming those. Look, I don't get paid to do these YouTube videos, so I kind of just play casually when I'm off from work or when I'm not, you know, busy taking care of my son or, you know, hanging out with my wife. That's when I play. So I may not have, you know, the hundreds and hundreds of hours as these other YouTubers have, but I will tell you for sure I will give you the best quality videos that I can possibly give you. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to do another video, which is going to be explaining how the mods operate on your weapons. Because it isn't just clear cut and dry. This says plus 26% crit chance. You don't actually get 26.6% crit chance, right? So I just want to explain some of these stuff to you guys, but this video was just about Gley, and I think I covered everything. So with Gley, just get yourself at least one weapon at least minimum, juice it to the max, get as much damage as you can out of that, and put some defense on your Gley, defense and health, use your first ability, and just go crazy. That's the simple rundown of Gley. So anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys got any information off this video, if I missed anything, comment in the comment section below. Let me know what did I miss, or if you believe that I got something wrong, which I'm gonna tell you now, I didn't. Just let me know in the comment section, and stay tuned because I actually got some plans for a couple other people, and one of them is I haven't seen much talk about. That might be for a reason, but I'm gonna figure out how to make that character OP. I got a plan. I got something up here. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you can catch my next upcoming the first Descendant videos. And yeah, until next time. Oh, hey, wait, real quick. I'm actually I'm gonna put some gameplay in here so you guys can see her in action, not just, you know, on paper or in the firing range. I'm gonna put some gameplay in here because I'm gonna run like a dungeon or something like that with my friend, and I'll put that gameplay up there so you could see how I use her in battle. You know, switching, going, balancing, you know, all the abilities and the different forms and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to watch that, just stay tuned. If not, hey, I just thank you for watching up till this point, and yeah, until next time.
Mission complete. Well done.